Now, President Trump believes he is being harassed by Democrats. Now, there's a lot of Democrats that have now taken over the House that are looking into doing some investigations. For example, they're looking into his tax returns that he still has not released. And so, facing that onslaught of new investigations by the Democrats, Trump is making himself into a victim. In fact, he tweeted this out. He says, "So now Congressman Adam Schiff announces, after having found zero Russian collusion," which is not actually true. They're still doing an investigation, by the way. And maybe they're talking about the House investigation. But there's still a Mueller investigation as well. And I don't know if they're going to find collusion, let's be honest. But actually, I'm not even as interested in collusion as I am about possible financial crimes, which you could probably find if you look into Trump's taxes. But I'm going to continue with the tweet anyway. Congressman Adam Schiff is going to be looking at every aspect of my life, both financial and personal, even though there is no reason to be doing so. Never happened before. Unlimited presidential harassment. I'm sorry. No, never happened before. We never had an investigation into a sitting president. Oh, wait. What about all the different investigations into President Obama? Constantly. How about the investigations into Hillary Clinton about Benghazi? How about the investigations into Bill Clinton for getting a blowjob by an intern? I mean, are you serious? Never happened before. Presidential harassment. He continues. The Dems and their committees are going nuts. The Republicans never did this to President Obama. Again, that's a complete lie. There would be no time left to run government. Maybe you could take some time out of executive time. You spend about 7 hours a day in executive time doing literally nothing. No, there's no more time in the day because of all the investigations. I hear other committee heads will do the same thing, even stealing people who work at White House, a continuation of witch hunt. To which he says, finally, presidential harassment. It should never be allowed to happen again. This is a guy, again, who kept harassing President Obama over the birth certificate. Oh, I'm going to find his birth certificate. I don't think Obama was born in this country. And I've got great people, tremendous people in Hawaii looking for the birth certificate. I'm going to find it. No, you're not. Because he already showed his long-form birth certificate. Look, he's insane. That's the only word for it. He's absolutely crazy. But anyway, Twitter had a little fun with this, and this is the best part. Let me read some great tweets here. Ryan Parker simply says the birther. Bud Levin says, President Snowflake has spoken. And then adds, beautiful garbage says, the tax man cometh. Oh, a little reference to them looking into Donald Trump's taxes, which I think if you're going to look for collusion, right? Well, you actually want to start with Donald Trump's finances. Well, why is that? Well, look, any look into his finances, and it would possibly, and this is my opinion of it, would probably show some pretty shady transactions. You start following the transactions, you start following the money, and then you're going to follow it to where it ends up showing some pretty shady stuff. Again, that's my read of it. Donald Trump is somebody who is corrupt. He has asked people to do illegal things on his behalf. Would you be at all surprised that a look into his personal finances, which, by the way, he says, you can't look at my tax return. I'm being audited. Longest audit ever. Don't buy it. Not buying it at all. He is hiding his tax returns, and I wonder why. It could be that there is some shady stuff in there, and he does not want them to find it. Now, there's more responses. I love these. Shannon Watts says, Amen. The president should definitely not be harassing people. I love that. Andrew Todd says, it's called being a publicly accountable figure. This is what you signed up for when you Forrest Gumped your way through the oath of office. To be fair, Forrest Gump was actually a likable character. I actually like that guy. Not so much with President Trump. Now, Nicole Sandler. Nicole Sandler, of course, is a friend of the show. So she runs the stream as well. And she said, presidential harassment is what you do every day to anyone who disagrees with you. To which that is absolutely 100% correct. Brian Klaus says, nothing to see here, just a wannabe despot who attacks the press, scapegoats minority groups, violates ethics rules, hires cronies and family members to top posts, tries to undermine rule of law, and loves foreign dictators, saying congressional oversight should be outlawed. Now, look, we're having fun here, but he brings up some really important points. This is somebody who does not want oversight at all. He wants to continue doing anything he wants, and that, of course, what he wants is to make money. So he wants to make money from the presidency, put his own people into office or into these cabinet positions that will deregulate his business so that when he gets done being president, he makes a ton of money. This is his entire presidency, you have to understand, is basically a money-making scheme. So, and that's all you need to know after you've looked at and studied Donald Trump. This is how he operates. Now, Rick Wilson says, myth, the strongest, boldest, most testosterone-drenched alpha male silverback gorilla He-Man to ever serve as president. Reality, whiny bitch. I love it. There's more. Brendan Nyhan says, the president says that oversight by a co-equal branch of government is harassment that should never be allowed to happen again. What would you say if you saw it in another country? That is an excellent point as well. There's more. Ananja Giraharadis says, yes, you should stop doing that. Gladstone says, hey, Trump's finally come up with a nickname for himself. Love it. Morton Overby says, presidential harassment, also known as Article 1 of the Constitution. Now, that's important because, hey, that's freedom of the press here. Free speech. Propaganda says, yeah, but when you're a star, they let you do it. They let you do anything. Christopher Supern says, methinks thou doth protest it too much. Hashtag presidential guilt. I love that. So, look, got a lot of great tweets here. Bullies, for example, Jacob Harris says, bullies like to claim that they're the real victims, which is true. Mick Moran says, yes, a middle-aged white man harassment should also cease forthwith. Christina Reynolds says a man who led a birther movement against the sitting president with no basis, who wanted to jail his opponent, Hillary Clinton, and I suspect would have many tweets supporting President Clinton investigations if Twitter had been around there. Great. Larry Murphy says, executive time. And finally, David Weiselman. I love this. Excuse my French, but you are such a whiny little bitch. Look, I love these because the internet basically does not allow you to get away with your BS. And look, the president thinks that, oh, no, Twitter's the best way to get out my messages. Yeah, to like an army of bots. I think most, like 2/3 of the people who follow Donald Trump, and I'm not sure of the exact numbers, but man, a lot of his followers are not real people. So who's he actually talking to? No, this is what most of the internet actually believes and actually thinks about President Trump's tweets. And I just love it. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.